Hi everybody and welcome back. Yes, I've still got the same dress on, but this is the same day for me. It's just not the same day that we're airing this. I'm trying to get as much of these things done as I can whilst I have the time. But what I'm doing today is we did sort of the freezing tips and things, but one of the things that I haven't yet done is started to delve into food waste. And obviously food waste between Christmas and New Year's probably been huge, but what I want to try and do is draw that line and start moving forward and start thinking about ways of cutting down food waste, because let's face it, if you cut food waste down, then it actually means you're saving money, and I'm not, you know, if you're like me, then you could probably do with doing that right now. I know I could. So food waste is right at the top of my priority list, you know, all of the time, to be quite honest. And what I'm doing today is I bought some potatoes, and I always store them correctly, which if you don't know how to store potatoes correctly, it's take them out the plastic bag if they're in a plastic bag. I use one of these sort of plastic crates that's got gaps in, and I also line it with some greaseproof paper, and I just store them in there in the dark, away from everything else, basically, like onions and things like that. But that is how I store them. You can actually store them in like a Hessian sack as well, but that is how I store mine, and they seem to store quite well. Now I've got these potatoes here, and they're okay. They're still firm, you know, they've got a little bit of give to them, but nothing major. So they're still okay, but I know in the next couple of days they're not going to be okay. So what I want to do now is I am going to put these in the slow cooker. Yes, I know that's lazy. I'll explain why. I'm going to put these in the slow cooker and I'm going to cook them, okay? And then once they are cooked, I've got some decisions to make. So once they are cooked, I can either eat them, which is great, or I can freeze them whole as jacket potatoes. Better, you know, when you're running around at work and things and you just want to grab one and ping one when you're at work, great. Or I could cook them, scoop out the flesh, make mash, freeze it. Or I could cook them, scoop out the flesh and make potato waffles and then freeze them. So all of these options are there rather than putting them in the bin. But the first point is to get them cooked. And as I say, I'm doing mine in the slow cooker now. The reason for that is I hate watching pans boil. So yes, I could, you know, peel them and chop them, put them in a pan on the hob, but you know, somebody's got to watch that. And right now, yesterday I didn't have a good day, and I'm not particularly having a great day today either. I need to just watch what I'm doing. So for me, the easiest option is to shove them in the slow cooker and just walk away and leave them. And yes, you can put them in the microwave, but let's face it, if I was going to put them in the microwave, I'd have already done that. So, you know, it's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. But if you want to put them in the microwave and do it that way, fine. If you want to put them in a pan on the hob, you know, absolutely fine. Just do what suits you and your lifestyle best. For me, they're going in the slow cooker. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how I do that, and I'm going to take you through the whole process from sort of the cooking right the way through to freezing them. And you know, maybe I'll turn them into waffles, and I can show you how I do that as well. So that is what we're going to look at today, and it is food waste, and it's going to be jacket potatoes. So first and foremost, I've got my potatoes. Don't worry about washing them or anything like that. Make sure you stab them all over as you would with any normal jacket potato. So just make sure they're pierced. And then what I am going to do is get some tin foil. I've done this both ways. I've done it not covering them and covering them, and I prefer mine covered. I think that is because the condensation from the lid on the slow cooker drips back into them, and they get a bit waterlogged in my opinion, but you know, again, just do it whichever way is easiest for you. So what I'm going to do with these potatoes, I'll do one and then I'll do the rest off camera. So potato on the foil, and then what we're going to do is just spray it. So I'll just give it a quick rub with oil, and then get some salt and pepper, and again just rub that in as well, and then just wrap it up as so. And that is basically it, and that's what I'm going to do with the rest of these potatoes here. So I'll do exactly the same with these as I have with this one. All the potatoes are now wrapped, and what we're going to do now is obviously get them in the slow cooker. But here's a tip. I've seen a lot of people just put them on the bottom of the slow cooker like this. The problem with doing that is that the pot, when you put it back in the housing's heating element is here. It's right at the bottom of the pot. And if you stack them on there, then the bottom of the potato, this bit that touches there, is gonna get burned. It's gonna cook so much quicker. So you'll end up with like a big spot here, a rock hard potato, and this part probably not cooked. So what I do is I get a couple of pieces of tin foil. You can use ramekins turned upside down so that the bottom of the ramekin is faced up, and sit them on that way if you want to be a bit more eco-friendly. It's up to you. So just loosely scrunch these up. And then we're going to have a bit of water, just a tiny little splash. It's, you know, it's not about measuring, just cover the bottom of the slow cooker. That's it. You know, it literally is just a tiny bit. Then get your potatoes and stack them in, but keep them off the bottom of the slow cooker, okay? You can pack them whichever way you want, doesn't matter, but just keep them off the bottom. And what we're going to do now is they are going to go on low for probably about 6 or 7 hours, or you can put them on high for 4 to 5. Now, if you cook them and you open them up and they're like brown inside, it just means you've overcooked them. They're still perfectly fine, and they just take on like a nutty flavour, to be quite honest. But that is you understanding how your slow cooker works, so that is a great thing to learn. You know, one of the things that I advocate over on my Facebook page is understanding how quickly your slow cooker works, because they don't all work the same speed and heat, okay? I've had loads of them, and I think I've got 2 or 3 now, and they're all different. So, you know, just try and get to grips with how yours works. So I'm going to put these on high actually, and I'm going to put them on for 5 hours, and then after 5 hours I will test them and see if they cooked. How do you know they cooked? Pick them up and squish them, and if they're soft then you kind of know you're there, to be honest. But that is it. That is sort of stage 1 of where we are right now. So once we get them cooked, I will come back and show you what I'm going to do next. So the potatoes are done. It took about 5 hours. So this was the first one I opened, and as you can see, they're really nice. The knife's going through them really well, so there's not a problem there. And this is the one I've just opened now, and it's the same with this one. You can see it's nice and squishy, and they've retained the colour as well. So I've caught these just right, to be quite honest. As you can see, the skins don't go crispy. If you want them crispy, just put your oven on super high or the grill on super high and just whack them under, and they'll go crispy. Now the next thing is, this is now late at night, and I'm obviously not going to deal with these now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap these back up in the foil, leave them to cool, and then I'm going to pop them in the fridge. And then tomorrow I'm actually going to, I've made a decision, I'm going to scoop out the flesh of all of these potatoes, and I'm going to make potato waffles. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually just let them cool tonight, or after you finish cooking them, leave them to cool, and then just slam them straight in the freezer as they are whole. The choice is yours. But I'm actually going to do potato waffles with mine. So that is the decision I've made, because I really like potato waffles anyway. I think they're actually very waffly and versatile. I know that's a horrible bad joke, but there you go. But yeah, to defrost them, you can do several things. You can take them out the freezer, and you can put them in a microwave and start reheating them on a low heat as you would anything that's frozen. Or you can just take them out a few hours before, leave them to defrost, and then ping them in the microwave, or bob them in the oven. It's entirely up to you. So that is it. That's as far as I've got. And what I'm going to do is pick these back up again tomorrow, because as you can see, I am definitely in my snazzy pajamas. So yeah, I'll pick this up tomorrow, and we'll go through how to finish these off and how to make the waffles as well. Have a great evening. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so I'm ready to do my waffles now. And that is all of the potatoes that were scooped out of the jackets. I have added an egg into there, and I'm going to add some spring onions. So you could add leeks if you want, or you can just leave them plain. You can just have them as, you know, potato waffles. But I'm going to add some spring onions. They don't need cooking off. And then I'm going to add some cheese as well, okay? And it just, again, this is Red Leicester. Use whichever cheese you want, measure it out, make sure it fits within your diet plan, all of those great things. I'm going to give you a top tip, okay? If you are going to make waffles like this, scoop the flesh out of the potatoes when they are warm, because man, they are so difficult when they're cold. Just a top tip. So what I've done is here I have my waffle making machine. Sorry, I'm trying to have a cup of tea as well. A waffle making machine, which is set to sort of medium, if you like. It's not set on dark, which is, I've got dark and light. It's sort of set on medium. And what I've done is used this spray here, as always. I've sprayed the plates, and then I've used this pastry brush just to make sure that all the oil goes into the grooves. And the green light is now telling me that it is ready to go. So first things first is, obviously I need to get all of this mashed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mash this now, get it into sort of the best I can, quite a sort of smooth mixture. And then when I start loading the machine, we'll come back and I'll have a look at it with you. So here we are, I've loaded the waffle machine, and basically I don't want the mixture too thick, because obviously the thicker it is, the harder it is to get cooked. Just try and spread it out evenly in the plates, as so. I don't know whether I mentioned this, but I did add an egg to that mix as well. And if you find it too difficult to mash because the potato's gone cold, slam it in the microwave for a couple of minutes on full power so that it starts to soften everything, and you'll be able to mash it easier, which is what I've just found out. So you can do that as well. So all I'm going to do now is put the lid down. Now here is my super top tip to making waffles, okay? You will always see some steam rising out of here, usually loads and loads and loads of it, to be quite honest. This one's not too bad, but do not lift the lid, okay? That's going to need a good 5 minutes, and whatever you do, do not lift the lid, because if you do, all that mixture is going to stick to the top plates and you're going to end up with a right mess on your hands. So the best thing to do is grab a cuppa and go and sit down for 5 minutes and just let that do its thing. Once it starts getting sort of cooked, sort of 70-80% through, then start turning the heat up to dark to finish it off, to get them nice and crispy. And that is where I'm going to leave that right now for the minute. Okay, so here they are, they are finished. They've definitely got the rustic look to them, if you can sort of see that. It's not about how they look or how pretty they look, it's just about using up potatoes basically, and making sure that you've got, you know, less food waste. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the freezer. Now if you want to reuse them after they've been frozen, the easiest thing to do is to take them out, defrost them, and then pop them under the grill for sort of a couple of minutes, and then turn them and then cook them on the other side for a couple of minutes. Or you can actually cook these and reheat them in the toaster. So again, you can just take them out and pop them from frozen straight into the toaster. So that is another great way. But there they are, they're all done. They're a bit rustic, a bit sort of very homemade, but that isn't the issue. The issue is that we've stopped those potatoes going into the bin or into compost or wherever it may be. And to me, that is a huge win. And that's basically how to save your potatoes. There you go. Yes, I do look like this. Yes, I have got my jams on yet again. I am just so tired at the minute, and I just have to learn to roll with it. As you'll see, there was only 3 there. There was actually 4. Somebody ate it. It wasn't me, that's all I'll say. But I did have a little nibble of them, and they do taste nice. So that is how to utilise potatoes that are not looking quite the best, shall we say. Enjoy.